back to the channel. My name's Brian Kingsbury. Today I thought we'd do another Brian Reads the News segment. With the wildfires in California taking up the bulk of the news cycle these days, I thought we would ask a few questions here to Google and find out a little bit more about the fires. First, we're going to start with the question, facts about wildfires. We're going to take a look at some of these facts, and then we're going to ask about the wildfires in California, get a little bit more information about what is going on. So it looks like, according to the AI overview here are a few facts about wildfires. First one they mention here is human cause. Human activity is the main cause for wildfires, with about 85% of wildfires in the U.S. being human caused. Second thing they mention here is hazardous air. Wildfires produce smoke and burning debris that can cause health problems and make existing health conditions worse. Third thing they mention here is climate change. Wildfires can release carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, which contributes to climate change. The other question I asked was information about the fires in California. That simple. Says, people ask, what is the biggest wildfire in California? As of Tuesday, the Eaton fire, which has burned 14,117 acres and destroyed more than 7,000 structures, was the second most destructive fire in state history, behind the 2018 Camp Fire in Northern California's Butte County, which consumed 153,336 acres and leveled 18,804 structures, according to CAL FIRE. Asks here, what are 90% of wildfires caused by? Answer, humans. Humans cause nearly 90% of wildfires in the United States via discarded cigarettes, unattended campfires, burning debris, or through equipment malfunctions. Although less common, wildfires can also occur through non-human phenomena such as lightning strikes and volcanic eruptions. A few more facts about wildfires. It says here, wildfires can be unpredictable and difficult to contain. Wildfires can threaten wildlife and natural habitats. Wildfires can destroy homes and landscapes and pose a significant risk to communities. Low-intensity controlled fires can use to prevent wildfires by removing dry vegetation. And wildfire smoke contains gaseous pollutants, hazardous air pollutants, water vapor, and particle pollution. So of course, when you have a gigantic fire like those going on in California, there's always the potential for loss of human life. And here they ask, which wildfire killed the most firefighters? The top 10 deadliest wildfire fatality incidents. Looks like here, the Devil's Broom wildland fire in St. Joe Valley, Idaho, was the most firefighter deaths at 78. This was August 20th, 1910. So the Devil's Broom wildland fire, followed by the Griffith Park forest fire in Los Angeles, which cost 29 firefighter deaths. This was October 3rd, 1933. And finally, the third most devastating fire was the Yarnell Hill fire in Yarnell, Arizona, which took 19 firefighter deaths. It was June 30th, 2013. Of course, when you have a devastating fire like one that's going on currently in California, people ask, why is California on fire? It says here, forecasts indicate that above normal temperatures and below normal precipitation will persist through February, sustaining elevated fire risks, particularly in Southern California. An increased frequency of offshore wind events may also heighten fire concerns in the area. And of course, when you have a huge fire like that, people always want to say, how can we stop this from happening? Here's a 2022 article, 10 facts about wildfires, causes, effects, and prevention. The key fact about wildfires is that most of them are preventable. Find out more about wildfires and how EcoSimmer backpacking stove can help to prevent them. Let's take a look. So again, this one came out in 2022. It's brought to us by ecosimmer.com. So 10 facts about wildfires, causes, effects, and prevention. Let's take a look. On average, about 7 million acres burn each year just in the U.S. Not only does this impact millions of people and homes, but it also devastates our precious forests and wildlife that inhabit them. In 2021, one forest fire hit too close to home. This was the Caldor Fire that spread across the South Lake Tahoe region. In fact, it was California's 15th largest recorded wildfire ever. What caused the fire was the reckless use of illegal firearms committed by a father and his son, meaning this tragedy could have easily been prevented. The Caldor Fire ripped through almost 223,000 acres, including 1,000 homes and structures. In addition, parts of a desolation wildness were affected, one of our most treasured backpacking locations and where EcoSimmer was devised. A key takeaway from this somber story is that a great majority of wildfires can be prevented by practicing safety and a responsibility in back county. We can preserve our landscapes for future generations to enjoy. Wildfire facts, causes, effects, and how we can prevent them. Becoming more informed about wildfires serves as a stepping stone for integrating responsible practices in the outdoors. To help with this, we shortlisted interesting facts involving wildfire causes, effects, and prevention. At number 1, it says here, humans are at fault for about 85% of U.S. fires. Unattended campfires account for a great deal of human-induced wildfires. We get it, there's nothing more nostalgic than a fireside s'more paired with spooky stories, but campfires should be used sparingly and with utmost caution. Whenever possible, go flameless. Additional forest fire igniters include carelessly discarded cigarettes, equipment malfunctions, and even intentional arson. On the other hand, lightning is the main cause of most natural occurring fires. 2020 was one of the worst wildfire seasons in U.S. history. About 9,900 separate fires contributed to California's worst recorded wildfire season in 2020. One of particular notoriety is the El Dorado fire, which burned for over 2 months, taking down almost 23,000 acres and one firefighter with it. It all started with a malfunctioning smoke-generating device at a gender reveal party. All in all, about 4.3 million acres burned in California that season, over 2 times the previous record. With it burned 10.4 thousand homes and 33 lives were lost. About 60% of California's fires in 2020 were caused by humans. Number 3 says here, wildfire seasons are getting longer and more extreme. While the number of annual forest fires hasn't shown a particular pattern over the last 20 years, the duration and devastation caused by them certainly has. Since 2000, an average of about 7 million acres burned in wildfires. This is double what it was in the 90s. Even worse, that number is a quadruple what it was 40 years ago, so you can see where this is going. According to the United Nations Environment Program, the global number of severe wildfires is expected to rise by 14% by 2030. This is predicted to jump 50% by 2100. Climate change and land use change concoct a recipe for disaster. The combination creates prolonged seasons of drought and unbalanced ecosystems, which make it harder to keep forest fires contained. Number 4 says wildfires are one of the main causes of air pollution. It's no secret that wildfires emit toxic pollutants. These include carbon dioxide, black brown carbon, hydrocarbons, volatile, semi-volatile organic materials, and nitrogen oxides. The emissions have adverse effects not only on the air quality of the air we breathe, but also on the atmosphere and its ozone layer, which can contribute to climate change. One pollutant is especially troubling, and that's fine particle matter, known as PM 2.5. The 2.5 refers to its size, 2.5 microns, which is small enough to enter our bloodstream via our lungs when it's inhaled. The worst part about this is that MP 2.5 make up about 50% of today's air pollution. Just 10 years ago, it was about 20%. Another scary fact, in 2021, wildfires spewed 1.76 billion tons of carbon into the Earth's atmosphere. That's over double the emissions given off by Germany each year. At number 5, it says about 1.2 million acres of U.S. woodland burn annually. Some of these acres hold hiking grounds, go-to camping spots, and under-the-radar backcountry escapes. Plus, they host an abundance of plant and animal species that depend on these woodlands for survival. Also at stake are our national parks and monuments. For instance, the forest fire in Yosemite National Park, July of 2020, burned through almost 18,000 acres while threatening the park's ancient sequoia trees. The incident was caused by naturally by lightning. Luckily, the sprinkler systems laid out by firefighters saved the trees from burning. On the other hand, one forest fire burned through about 7.6 acres of the Roosevelt National Forest in Colorado. This was caused by a man who had an accident with his gas-powered camping stove. It's just not worth threatening irreplaceable landmarks if we can prevent it by taking precautions and using safer outdoor equipment. At number 6, it says reforestation doesn't begin until about 2 to 4 years after a wildfire. A forest regrowth process begins in the soil. The soil needs to be naturally restored and able to absorb water before it can support saplings. At number 7, it says wildfire forces wildlife out of the natural habitat, so most animals flee burning woodlands if possible. This can push panic-stricken creatures into densely populated suburbs where they wander in search of a new home. Those that don't escape the thick smoke in time can experience difficulty breathing, disorientation, injury, or mortality. One incident to reference involves Australia's koalas that were affected during the bushfires of 2020. At number 8, it says weather can tell you when to practice extra precaution. The combination of hot, dry, and windy weather provides the ideal setting for wildfires to start. Avoid partaking in activities that involve sparks or flames, such as fireworks or campfires. Even something that seems harmless, i.e. a smoke-generating device for a gender reveal, can ignite an uncontrollable monster. You can always check online to find out how vulnerable your location is to wildfires. At number 9, it says wildfire prevention starts at the individual. Since 85% of wildfires are human-induced, we can all work to prevent 85% of fires. Besides larger efforts such as forest and land management, even small acts can contribute to prevention. Forest fire prevention should be a contributed effort made to each individual. The steps required for progress are surprisingly small. Go flameless, check conditions, use fire responsibly. Also says to watch where you park, keep fire extermination tools handy, and properly dispose of cigarettes. Finally, it says 10.30 million U.S. homes are at risk by wildfires. That number might include the home of you or your loved ones, which really puts things in perspective. Another way to look at it, that's roughly 21% of all U.S. homes that are vulnerable to wildfire, and about 1.5 million of those homes have a 26% chance of burning in the next 30 years. And if you guys are wondering where do wildfires happen, they can occur anywhere. However, wildfires occur most often in dry, wooded locations. In the U.S., the West Coast faces the highest number of extreme wildfires. Fires also frequent other U.S. regions, but the West's landscapes provide super dry pine needles and shrubs that feed fire the fuel it needs to advance. To give an idea, here are the 2021's top 5 states with the highest wildfire exposure. California, about 2.23 million acres burned. Oregon, 829,000 acres burned. Montana, 748,000 acres burned. Washington, about 674,000 acres burned. And Arizona, about 524,000 acres burned. So with all that new information, it asks here, how do I find out about wildfires near me? The best way to stay informed is to check regularly online. A simple Google search will do. For a more advanced look, we recommend the U.S. Forest Service's interactive fire map. You can even download the app for an up-to-date information on the go. The site also provides articles and social posts covering the most current news concerning wildfires. Thank you for listening to this Brian Reads the News segment. If you would like to, you can go ahead and subscribe to my channel. There I am, currently sitting at 1.11 thousand subscribers with 4.5 thousand videos up on the channel. Hit that subscription button, ring that notification bell, and make these videos a regular part of your day. Thanks for watching this one. We'll catch you on the next one. Bye.